Ascended Masters Podcast.
I say chase your dreams, man. Do that thing, man, that keeps you up at night. That thing that bothers you, man, that makes you trip. You can't quit thinking about it. You always, that thing, man, that you wake up in the middle of the night, you got a new idea. That's what you got to chase.
Live from the Bricks Ascended Masters Podcast. Live from the Bricks Ascended Masters Podcast. Live from the Bricks Ascended Masters Podcast. Live from the Bricks Ascended Masters.
Welcome back to Ascended Masters Podcast. Glad to have y'all back for another episode. Once again, we had a brother Narik, brother Quaz is in the building. This episode, we're going to build on spirituality in the Black community, how spirituality affects our lives, how it enhances our lives, and how it helps us through the struggle in life, and certain aspects of spirituality that opens up a broader understanding and a broader perspective on life when you delve into it, whatever your foundation may be. So let's just begin there, Narik. Kind of going to freestyle this one. Bear with us, my brothers and sisters. Glad to have y'all here. Any words you have for the people before we begin, Narik?
Just here to learn, grow, and hopefully allow y'all to do the same with us on our journey. That's it.
That's what we're here for, man. It's all about, like we said before, growth, development, gaining a better understanding on self, gaining a better understanding on how we relate to the world outside of us, and just giving all of us a broader perspective on life and what this thing is about, and how we travel and traverse through this thing. And let's start there, Narika, man. I know for me, Islam played a huge impact in my life growing up, but it was something that was kind of handed down to me by my father, because he was an early convert in his life. So I kind of really didn't choose Islam for myself, right? It was kind of given to me, and I embraced it because this was the foundation of my family, as well as with my grandmother on my mother's side, giving me them Sunday school lessons and teaching me a little about Christianity as well. So I kind of had both pillars with me growing up. How was it for you coming into your understanding and gaining a spirituality that fit your walk of life?
It was a little different. I was incarcerated. I went to the county, but I always was aware of Islam because of my uncle Pike. He used to always pray. He used to come get us, and we used to be over his house summertimes, and and we used to see him every morning. He used to get up and used to offer. So that like opened my eyes. Like always, like it had me curious. Like I wanted to get more understanding of it. And then when I got incarcerated throughout my stint in the county, I just seen everybody who was going to the masjid, going to pray Jumu'ah Fridays, and a lot of the brothers was grounded. It was like nothing really around them was bothering them. Like, these situation wasn't bothering them. They wasn't letting it get the best of them. And they discipline, and it just made me want to know more. So I first started going to Jumu'ah on Fridays, just sitting in there and just like paying attention, just trying to get a better understanding of what it was that was going on. And I finally took Shahada, and when I started praying, and it just like, I don't know, it helped. I feel like it made everything easier for me. You feel me? Like when things get hard, and I offer, and just, I feel like it gave me a different understanding on life. Like that I can't control. Like certain things in my life I wasn't able to control, and it was out of my hands. And it just gave me peace within. Like helped me get an understanding. Like it helped me continue. Like, and it still do. Like it helped me keep going.
That's important, man. I think that's very important to tap into that sense of peace within. You know what I mean? Regardless of what the circumstances are going on outside of you. And his life is ups and downs, man. Sometimes it could be like a roller coaster. You know what I mean? And you gotta embrace them highs and them lows, and that's what changes. One of the things that my father taught me coming up when he gave me Islam was that God is the unmoved mover, is one of the attributes that he gave me. And from that understanding, gaining a little bit more perception into it and going through my trials and tribulations, I kind of was able to understand a little bit what he meant by that. And what he meant by that is these moving parts that's outside of us, they spring from that inner stillness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when you tap into that inner stillness and that inner peace, you tapping into the foundation of the things. So when you kind of pull back from the things, you can stay in that sense of peace and that sense of stillness and that sense of understanding in the midst of the chaos.
Okay.
So you're able to deal with the chaos in from a higher perspective.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Where you're not totally, fully, spiritually engaged in a turmoil.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of given a bird's eye view, and you can see it from like an oversight, and you could deal with it properly without getting drawn into the emotion and the chaos of it. Because me and my learning and my development, I kind of understood that the world was chaos.
Yeah.
The universe is chaos, and it's necessary, right? When you look at a storm, or you look at even the fires that's going on in California, and you know what I mean, our prayers go out to everybody that's affected by the catastrophe that's going on in California. You know, the loss of life and the loss of property, and we just praying for the best, praying that, you know, everybody pitch in to help rebuild, but also understanding the spiritual aspect of it and what's going on and why we dealing with these things in this day and time. It's kind of the sign of the times, and we all going through our turmoils, but it's kind of put me, not to digress too much, but it's kind of put me in a perspective of we got to tap more into our spirituality, and that's why that's the topic of this episode today. So to get back to the topic, and like we said, our condolences, our prayers are for everybody that's affected by the fires. I know I got family out there, and I got the word that everybody is safe. Hopefully, you know, everybody continue to be safe, and everybody pitch in and help rebuild, because this is a situation that we're going to be dealing with from here on out if we don't change the way we moving on the planet. But for me, man, it was like understanding that my foundation was that stillness and that peace, and understanding that regardless of what was going on outside of me, that never faded.
Yeah.
That never changed. My circumstances may change. My trials and tribulations may change. Even my financial situation may change up or down. But one thing that never changes is that love and that peace that comes from within, and that shines without. And I credit that to the Most High.
Yeah, most definitely.
You know,
I definitely feel like similar to that, like, well, like it helped you get through like praying and understanding where you come from, who you come from, and just who you are. Like, I feel like it helped you get through things that you probably wouldn't even be able to imagine going through. Like some of my most hardest times since I've been home, and also while I was incarcerated, like the things that I didn't think that I was going to be able to get through, I was able to get through because of Islam. So it was like, it's definitely, it's major in my life. It means a lot to me. It definitely means a lot to me.
And historically in our community, man, black people, you know, we've always had a spiritual foundation with us. We've always acknowledged a power that was greater than just our physical and our mental facilities, right? Even being transported, right, from the motherland to this newfound land, we kept a sense of our traditional spirituality with us. A lot of brothers that came off the boats whether we know it or not. But if you check the history, you'll find the facts. A lot of brothers and sisters from West Africa that were kidnapped and brought to this land was already dealing with Islam. You know what I mean? Along with other traditional teachings and practices that came from the motherland, from certain tribes and certain communities. They worship different deities, but Islam was already very prevalent throughout the continent, especially in northern and West Africa. So we came with a sense of Islam, even being in a situation where the dominant religion was Christianity. So we found ways to adapt into Christianity, but still pulling from our traditional sources, including Islam. That's why I believe, and this is my opinion, the brothers and sisters was able to embrace Islam the way they did when it was reintroduced to us through brothers like Noble Drew Ali and Elijah Muhammad. And, coming up in my era, dealing with the God bodies, the gods and earths, the nation and gods and earths, I salute y'all, brothers and sisters. I was told that Islam stood for ourself, Lord and Master. And coming from that perspective and that understanding, I saw the independence of it. I saw the self-reliance of it, right? Because when you take on that acronym and you embody that, you understand that the source of everything is self. And you understand that you the sole controller of your destiny. So what you put out, you're going to receive, you know what I mean, for the most part. And that's always been the case in my life. Now, Reek, you know what I mean? Would you like to share any specific incident or a trial or tribulation that you was going through where prayer, you saw the results of the prayer and how it helped you?
I just spoke on this last week too. And like one of the most important moments for me, I feel like it was probably like the biggest part of my transition home, like as far as like becoming one with myself and getting a better understanding on life, like life as it is now, like because a lot changed since I've been gone. And I was still moving, like I was in the streets, but I was working 2 jobs. You feel me? So like I wasn't myself. I don't feel like I was being true to myself. And I was acting off like my emotions. Like I wasn't doing what I was taught. You feel me? Like what the things that I learned, like emotional intelligence and stuff like that. Like I wasn't acting off of that. Like I was acting irrational. Like a lot of the things I was saying and doing towards people, it wasn't really negative, but it was like I didn't have any control over my emotions. And I got into an argument with one of my supervisors at my job, and I just realized like some of the things that I said and like just the way that I've been acting. And I had apologized to him one day. I had texted him and apologized to him. And I was looking for counseling. I was looking for counseling, trying to get back into counseling or something. Like get something. Like he got a lot of resources. I was trying to find something to be able to help me, like elevate and become a better man. And I kind of was off my dean around that time. Like I wasn't offering. Like when I first came home, I was, but I didn't really know. But I got lost within basically what you were saying, like the movements going on around me, everything that was going on around me. I got my emotions was more into what was going on around me instead of removing myself from that and just being at peace with myself and understanding, being able to see it, like you said, from a bird's eye view. So I got super invested into the things that was going on around me, and it was hard for me to take a step back. And he invited me to the masjid, to come down to the masjid, and I locked in for a couple months and just was every day. I was making all 5 at the masjid, and it helped me. Like, it just grounded me. It got me back to myself, giving myself a different type of understanding on life, and just giving people grace, I guess, like, and giving myself grace, like, understanding all the things that's going on around me, like, and that things really not in my control. Like, none of this is in my control. It's in the Lord's hands. So it's only so much that I could do about it, and there's really nothing that I could do about it. And it just helped me get back focused and get back to me, honestly, get back to the me that I've grown to become.
Yeah, that's a fact, man. That's a fact, and that's important. I'm still learning that myself, right? How to let go, and receive, and to be at peace with whatever God got for me. You know what I mean? Because you can't control that chaos no other way than stepping into the eye of the storm sometimes, right? If you look at a weather pattern or you look at a hurricane, the eye of the storm is where it's most calm, right in the center, in the middle. So sometimes you got to go through it, walk through it, get to that eye, and then see what's going on around you from that. Like we said, higher understanding or perspective.
It's crazy that you say that, though, because I kind of find my peace in chaos, honestly. So
Absolutely.
It's like, when things ain't chaotic around me or it's not a lot to do, then that's when I find myself, like, it's really like I feel like from being raised around chaos, and like it's always something going on, just within my family alone, like I feel like that's what my comfort is. Like, and I feel like sometimes it could be a bad thing, because when things is going good, like, I don't really know, I haven't really experienced that for a long time, like long periods of time in my life. So it's like, I don't really know how to operate or function sometimes when things are too good. Like, I need things to be, or not even really too good. Just like, I always need something to do. Like, it got to be something to do. Like, like as far as like a way to better myself, or something to fix, somebody to help, or you feel me, somebody to be there for. You feel what I'm saying? If I can't be there for somebody or feel like I'm of use, like, you feel me, like that I'm doing something to be able to help make somebody else better, or make my life better, or just continue to progress, then it's like, I be feeling meaningful. It would just be like, get bored, and I start to get lost within myself, and start to ask myself questions like, what is it that I'm here for? Like, what is it that I'm doing? Like, I know it's something that I need to be doing, and usually I pray on that. I just begin to offer, because usually when I offer, I don't ask Allah for things. Like, I offer to be at peace, like, to be at peace, honestly. Like, if I do, I ask for patience, guidance, and wisdom.
And when you ask, you will receive. That's a fact. For me, Nari, it was the same thing, man. Like, you know, I grew up in a household where, you know, a lot of adults, a lot of kids, you know, everybody dealing with their different aspects of life. But when we come together, it's like, you know, everybody's is in tune with the governing body, which is the elders, which is the grandmothers and the grandfathers. But at the same time, you know, it was a lot of chaos going on in the house too. But I was always that one that was off to the side in the corner by itself. Like, I had to find that peace for me in the chaos. And sometimes, like we said before in earlier episodes, it was a matter of not disrespectfully, but respectfully and gracefully isolating myself to get with myself, to find that place of peace and calm within that I was, believe it or not, used to, even as an infant, as an early child. My earliest memories were of that peace and contentment and that universal type of love. And this was before, you know what I mean, I was able to verbalize or walk, I kind of kept that with me, you know what I mean, before I got indoctrinated into the greater society, and my attention went from inside of self to outside, you know what I mean? And I think it's a way to maintain a balance between the two, because external is only an extension of what's going on internally, right? So when you're able to tap into that peace, and it comes from, you know what I mean, literally, man, offering that dua, you know what I mean, 5 times a day, or just meditating 15 minutes for you, it might be, you know what I mean, a day, whenever you can get that time in, just tuning in to the higher power and kind of tuning out to the worldly power and finding that source of strength and dwelling in that space, and then bringing that with you to your outside walk.
Yeah, meditation definitely helped me also, along with praying. Somebody introduced me into it when I first came home from prison. Things were chaotic, and I wasn't really at peace with myself. And, somebody realized it, and they seen it in me that I was like unsettled, I guess. Like I wasn't grounded, and they asked me to do it. They asked me to meditate, and I did it. I'm optimistic. I'm open-minded to different things. You feel me? If I feel like it may help, then I'm going to try it. And I tried it, and it actually helped. Like it definitely helped me. It's a lot of things that could get you grounded, and I feel like it's super important, like, to have an understanding on what it is that makes you one with yourself, and helps you understand life better, and give you a different point of view, different perspective, be able to understand the people that you're around also. Like,
Absolutely. I find that it clears your mind mentally, you know what I mean? The mental activity, is a lot that goes on with the mental activity. What I found with the prayer and with meditation alike was that I got to a point in a space where that mind could switch off. And once that mind switches off, that meaning my internal dialogue, meaning my egotistical rant, that's always commenting, and it has to be involved with everything that's going on. But I realized that it was a presence beyond that. Like my awareness didn't fade when that voice faded. Actually, the awareness became amplified when that voice faded. Later on, I was able to learn that that voice was taking energy and attention away from the awareness in its purest state. You know, with the chaos, once my attention is extended into the chaos, my attention is not on the awareness. My attention is not on the stillness. My attention is unsettled, as we said, right? So it becomes wrapped up in the chaos, as opposed to just being a witness of the chaos. Once you could tap into that consciousness that bears witness to the chaos, you can kind of detach yourself from it and just be a still, silent witness to it, even as you speak. You know what I mean? When your mind is not overly active. And that took years of practice, and even more years to gain an intellectual understanding, because the presence was there without commenting or intellectualizing it. You know what I mean? Before I realized
I was like
what
that
was
too
taking
for
place.
a while. I feel like for a while I didn't understand it either. Coming home, like, that's really when I understood. Like, throughout my whole incarceration, I feel like that I was super in tune with myself from being around high attention activity all day. Like, you always aware, and you gotta feel other people's energies to understand how to approach them that day. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a fact.
Yeah, it's very important in that environment to know and to get a feeling, understanding on what it is that somebody else may be going through, to understand how it is that you approach them that day.
And a lot of that, not to cut you off, but just to get clarification, right? Now, a lot of that is nonverbal communication, right?
Yeah, 90% of it is body language. Body language tells a lot. Character traits. I knew character traits of people who I didn't talk to. Like I don't talk. I probably didn't talk to them ever, or probably a couple of times throughout the whole time that we was locked up together. But because I know his character traits and his habits, and how he goes about his day on an average day, on a regular day, like not everybody pays attention and wants to understand those things. But when you do, it helps you grow within. It helps you grow as a man. And I feel like the little things like that, when I transitioned to coming home from prison, my transition coming home, it was like I was overdoing it. Like I realized how aware I was and how in tune I was with myself. I felt like at one point in time, I was able to feel how, like, I know how people felt about me, even though they wasn't saying it. And even though I may have been right, I was thinking for other people at one point in time. Like, I'll tell you how you felt. And people would be like, no, that's not how I feel. Like, how you gonna tell me that? But they didn't understand that I felt it. Like, from being like, and I may have been wrong about what I thought, but you could feel that somebody feels away. You feel what I'm saying? Like, it's something off. You feel it. And people may think you crazy because of that. Like, they might be like, oh, no, you, like, something wrong with you, or da-da-da. They make it seem like you're not really there mentally, like, or something like that. But it's like, and it definitely got something to do with mental health. Like, it can lead to mental health. Like, those things can definitely lead to mental health if you dive too deep into it. You feel what I'm saying? But
with me, I had those same experiences, right? I've been through them same, and still, I have a greater understanding now, right? But what I had to learn, and like I'm saying, the same thing, like, I was going through this and feeling this before I was able to intellectualize it and understand intellectually what was going on. The feeling was no doubt. You know what I mean? And what I realized was that it's different stages of consciousness, and it's different stages of our spiritual evolution. And in one aspect, right, we have the universal mind, or the collective consciousness of humanity, right? On the lowest stage is the egotistical stage, where I'm just conscious of my wants, my needs, and myself, egotistically, physical, mental, and emotional, and that's it. You know what I mean? And that's a limited perspective and a limited point of view, but everything is centered around my ego. So from that perspective, I'm projecting onto what's going on around me, because I'm only limited to my own self-perception, right? I'm only limited to my own self-conscious, right? Then there's a higher state of consciousness where you tap into the universal mind. Now, when you tap into the universal mind, we dealing with the collective consciousness of humanity. And we know the state of humanity's mind today, right? We could see individuals, we could see communities, we could see how nations is acting, we could see how the international community is acting on a whole collectively. So we know the chaos is for real. And when you tap into the mind, the collective consciousness, it's not just positive. You're going to pick up on the negative vibes as well, because consciousness doesn't discriminate between what we call positive and negative. Consciousness is universal and whole.
Coming from prison, like, I'm not even gonna lie, I wasn't even able to pick up on positive energy. Like, as far as, like, I wasn't used to being around positive energy. Like, when I feel like when my third eye began to open and I started to become more in tune with myself, I was in prison, and I was it was for my safety, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, to protect myself, my peace. And I wasn't like used to. You only could feel like, I feel like the positive energy was like now I understand. Like, I still don't really feel it. Now I see it. Like, I see the like. I feel like that's more seen than felt for me, is because like I see when somebody feel positively about who I am. Like, they glow, their face glow, like their eye, their body language, like the way they begin to move around you. You feel what I'm saying? And it's going to be within their speech. Like, the things that they say and the things that they do will show you, like, the positivity, or that this person is just a positive person. Like, the way that they carry themselves and conduct themselves as a person, and their way of life. Like, but the negative is what I usually feel. Like, if it's something negative, I feel it. Or it don't even have to be that negative. I feel like if someone has a negative thought about me, I feel it. Like, if they think on it, if they dwell on it too long,
You gonna pick it up.
I'm gonna feel it. Yeah.
And that's a fact, right? Now we talking about 3 stages, right?
Yeah.
We talking about the lower vibration, which is the ego, right?
Yeah.
Which the ego is going to project on to a person, whether they're expressing that or not. This is how I feel, therefore you must feel this way towards me, right? That could be from a straight egotistical standpoint, which is the unhealthy standpoint, right? Because now, whether that's the reality of that other person or not, you're projecting that onto them. So that becomes your reality.
Yeah, because you're making them feel
it might
good
not
now.
be their reality, it's just your reality.
Yeah.
So you can make an enemy out of a friend, so to speak, right? Then there's another aspect of that where you're and mind you, these aspects overlap.
Yeah.
So you can have a little bit of this,
Yeah, yeah.
a lot of that,
No,
a
I
lot of that.
understand.
You know
I
what I'm saying?
understand.
So another aspect when you growing out of the egocentric perspective, you tapping into the collective consciousness, right? Now from that stage, now you're able to discern your projection and what's really the vibe being picked up. Now it could be a situation where you walk into a room and you feel positivity coming from the majority of the people in that room, but then you just glance at somebody in the corner and you instantly
You feel it.
you able to compare and contrast, like, nah, the vibes I got from everybody else was peace. This one is off. You know what I mean? Now there you have to use your discernment and you have to be honest with yourself. Whether it's your projection, maybe that dude looked like somebody that did something to you before and you're projecting. Or maybe from that clear state of mind, you're not even thinking on your past or your future. You in that moment and you pick it up instantly,
Well, I feel like,
and you know for a shadow of a doubt.
I feel like the projection, right? I feel like I've been in environments where there was a lot of people healing, and there was a lot of projection going on as far as, and it wasn't purposely. Like, I don't feel like none of it was purposely. It just was. Sometimes it's just how it goes, I guess. Like, people try to get certain things off them, and I feel like certain people carried other people's burdens. So if
That's a fact.
if you could project onto somebody who you know may carry this weight for you, or it's kind of like a punching bag. So like certain people is going to just handle certain things differently. Like, they might not want confrontation, or they got a deeper understanding. Basically, like how the things we talking about right now, they got a deeper understanding. So they wouldn't mind carrying. I wouldn't mind carrying certain people's burdens for them that they might not be able to handle on their own. And it might not be perhaps a friend. Like, y'all don't even got to be friends. Y'all just associates, or maybe even just work in the same workspace. And they might be able to see that about you, and they'll project their problems onto you. And we just was talking about this earlier. Rather than leave their energy where it's at and like allow it to bounce off you, or just take in some of it. I used to take it home with me, and that changed the way that I moved, the way that I woke up every day, and the way that I conducted myself as a man. And, like I still, it didn't sway my principles or anything like that. Just my energy changed.
Yeah,
I feel like my
changed.
energy started to become negative because of the environments that I've been around. That's why I like to be around positive people because it uplifts you. Like if you're around, if you go, I feel like that's why people go to comedy shows and things like that, is because it's a room full of positivity. It's a room full of people looking for a positive, like laughter. Laughter is healing. So
Absolutely.
it's people looking to heal, and everybody's looking for the same thing. Even information. You go to seminars for information, or just to be around any successful people. Usually successful people got really strong positive energy because of the direction in which they're moving in their life. They might not have too many problems, but and even if they do, their mindset is strong enough to be able to handle the problems and be able to like basically like play chess. They could they're in control of their life and what's going on around them, so it's a little easier to handle certain things.
Now we talking about 3 stages, right, of the evolution of consciousness, right, within man and woman, and you absolutely right, in the stage of egocentric, everything revolves around your thoughts. In the stage of collective consciousness, everything revolves around the thoughts of others, right? In that last stage, right, once you evolve out of the universal consciousness, you step into the Godhead. Once you step into the Godhead, you step outside of the mind of man. Once you step outside of the mind of man, the chatter slows to where it's just that stillness and silence within. Now, from that stillness and silence from within, I would call that the untouchable stage. That's when your energy and your aura is settled beyond mind and beyond body to be universal consciousness or consciousness itself.
Is that like what the state of mind that monks are in?
Absolutely. That would be the Buddha. That would be Christ consciousness. That would be ecstasy, some would say, enlightenment. But these are all overblown titles, because in all actuality, all it is your natural state of being. Once you get tapped into your natural state of being, you become the unmoved mover, like my father said.
Do you feel like you have moments in which at that state of mind?
I've had moments.
Yeah.
I'm not there
Yeah.
in a constant state, right? But I've definitely had those glimpses.
Yeah. I feel like I had moments also.
Absolutely.
I feel like I had some moments to where it was just like.
So you know, it's like
you can't really
nothing
explain
else
it.
even.
Matters.
No, mind over matter, literally, right? Where your mind then elevated beyond the matter. You can see the source of the matter. And then it's to the point where you don't even mind your mind. You know what I mean? To quote one of the wise sages, Krishnamurti, he said, "My secret is I don't mind my mind." Meaning that he doesn't police his every thought.
Yeah.
He doesn't even pay attention to the inner chatter. And once you learn how to take your attention and your focus and your perspective. And this is a practice, right? I'm not saying I'm a master. You know what I mean? I'm definitely not. But it's a practice. And with everything you practice, you get better as you do it. And the more you do it, the wider that space inner calm and peace becomes. And the greater the love comes, and from inside that fills you up. And once you tap into that, you're content, you're at peace with who you are, regardless of the outer chaos, regardless of the circumstance, regardless of what other people think. You can know for a fact that person is saying something negative about you and don't like you, but you're not even paying attention to your own thoughts. Yeah. You're not even bothered by your own thought about it, because that's what it always is. Not to cut you off, Nari, I just want to express this point, right? It's never what that person is doing. It's never what's going on outside of you. It's always your internal dialogue, what you say about it, right? Some people right now, and God bless everybody that's a victim of these fires in California, but it's a person that lost their home, lost their worldly possessions, and they're looking at it as though this fire is for me to replenish and to rebuild, because that's their perspective on it. But then there's another person that's looking at it like,
why did this happen to me?
Why did this happen? I'm a victim. I can't move on. Life never works for me. They're in the same situation, dealing with the same circumstances, but it's that internal dialogue which is going to determine how they survive in that situation.
I feel like I'm at a place of understanding when it comes to all of this, as far as I can say, like, a lot of the time, though, it's crazy, though, because I learned this just now from you. So I'm realizing this about myself now. Like, a lot of the time, I don't think nothing when I'm by myself. It's when I'm alone. When I'm alone, I'm not really thinking nothing. Like, sometimes it's hard for me to think now about things that's like, it don't got no substance, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, I can't even waste my time to think about certain things.
That's powerful, brother.
I don't know, but it can make me like, I feel careless sometimes when I do think about, like, if I try to, like, I'm like, damn, like, do I just really not care? Like, cause I'm not, I just be in my own world. Like, I'd be chilling. Like, I'd just be at peace. Like, just be like, so, but when I'm outside and I'm around people and stuff like that, I feel like that's when. But I'm learning to fight it off. So I ain't gonna lie. You just made me realize some things about myself by giving me this information. And
same for me, right? I'm realizing the same thing. Not to cut your wisdom, but that's one of my struggles as well, right? Learning how to be content with being content with it. Like, learning how to, cause we've been programmed in society that thinking is everything. We've been programmed to overthink. We've been programmed to give more reverence to intelligence than is warranted, right? Cause intelligence is faulty, man. You know what I mean? People that was here on this planet 200 years ago, the intelligent people said the world was flat. The intelligent people 200 years ago said man will never fly. They were intelligent. That was intelligent at that time based off the information that they had at that time. But we talking about, it's a infinite universe here that we dealing with. So any information that you get is going to be limited because it's infinite possibilities.
I feel like if you got a positive mindset, it may be no reason to overthink. Just act on your positive,
that's the key.
On a positive energy.
That's
like,
the key.
Because
that's the key.
It depends on where you, like, what direction and what's your path in life, like your journey, where you at in your journey, and where you, like, how you walking your journey. Like, cause it could be negative. You could be on negative time and you could be on positive time. But I feel like if you doing the right thing in life and you shouldn't have no worries about anything negative happening to you.
Because when it arises, the only thing that you can do is handle it in that moment. Like for me, not to cut your wisdom, for me, it's like kind of like the opposite, right? I'm at peace in the midst of it.
Yeah.
Because I'm able to step back and not think but act.
Yeah.
So I'm not thinking because I'm acting.
Yeah.
But sometimes when I'm alone, now my mind becomes overactive because I'm not acting. Now I'm sitting thinking, you know.
I feel like my men's meetings helped me with that though. So I used to do that a couple months ago, like top of last year. I feel like I used to dwell on things that I used to like, cause you know a lot of the things I've been through since I've been home. So things been chaotic, but I think about it. I feel like I was thinking about it to solve the problem. So while I'm in the chaos, this is why I'm thinking about it. Like now, when I'm alone, I feel like that's my time for myself. Like I don't want to think about what it is that I had to do or what it is that I had to sacrifice to be able to be there for this person, or like the energy and the pieces of myself. Like I feel like that's my time to repair and to heal myself, is when I'm sitting alone and I'm just at peace and just within. It's like I don't gotta be there, because usually when I'm in public or when I'm around people, I'm giving something always. Some form of energy is being transferred when I'm around others. So just being by myself is like, I feel like that brings me peace. Like that's me healing. That's me filling my cup back up.
Replenishing yourself and refining yourself.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And for me, it was just that practice will help me with that, right? And that's why I say it's still a work in progress, because it's still a practice for me. It's still something that I have to. It was at a certain point in time in my life where it was automatic.
Yeah.
Like when I was younger, when I didn't have as much responsibilities as I have, when it was just, all I really had to worry about was me, I was always in that state, right? Basically, I was more in that state than out of it.
Yeah.
Even in the midst of running the streets and stuff like that, it was a certain assurity and peace with me, because I was able to act in a moment. I didn't have a lot of ideas in my mind at the time outside of what I was going through as a teenager. So, I didn't have the bills, the family, the kids, the job, and all that type of stuff. So I didn't have all that to think about.
Yeah.
And, I was always, most of the time I was in that state if I wasn't projecting, because now I'm young too.
Yeah.
So I still got that aspect, that egocentric aspect too. And I was able to, in my younger years, witnessing and discern what stages I was in mentally, because of my experience as a child, coming from that foundational peace and that love and that contentment, and seeing that the more I got indoctrinated into the world, the more it took that away in a certain aspect, you know what I mean? Which only really means is that my focus became outside as opposed to inside. On the pyramids it says, when they went into the pyramids for the first time, they sang the message over the tomb that said, "Man, know thyself." And even as a young kid, I had a maybe a naive understanding of it, but I took that as though it was something inside of us that was deeper than focusing on what's outside of us. And once we tap into that, it opens up. And the older I got and the more I've practiced and the more I've learned, I found that to be the absolute truth when it comes to who we are and what our purpose is here. If you don't know yourself beyond your body and your mind, you don't really know what the purpose really is. You know what I mean? The brothers and sisters, and I keep going back to this because it's deep, right? That lost their homes in the fires, regardless of what their background was, their economic situation was, regardless of what, that's a loss. But that's still an external loss. But that's a loss because it's a piece of them. They put their identity into their possessions. Most people do. You know what I mean? But if you could just pull yourself back a little bit and see, okay, I might have lost the house. I might have lost the car. I might have lost the money in the safe. But I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm alive. I didn't lose my life. So start from there if you can't start from anywhere else. You know what I mean? Just to put that out there. But eventually, we got to evolve. Humanity has to evolve to a place where we see ourselves beyond just our material makeup. Because the material is limited, man. It has a beginning and it has an end. Who you are inside is eternal. You have no beginning and you have no end. And that's my understanding based off of studying not just Islam from the traditional sense, but also studying the lessons that, the Nation of Gods and Earths gave me, the lessons that Elijah Muhammad gave me, the supreme wisdom, my own research, my own experience, and our tribal walk of life, as Black people in America, because we hold what's the word I'm looking for? We hold the moral fabric of this world that we live in, especially in this country. Black people are the moral fabric of this country, no doubt about it. Check it in every movie. Black person is always the voice of conscience in every movie. I'm not making it up, man. So once we tap back into our strength, because our strength is known, then we tap into that universal aspect, that God, that aspect of ourselves. That's eternal, man, and that's powerful, and that's the force that the Creator creates with. And once we tap into that, we realize that we co-creators in this thing. We not just victims of this thing. We can really manifest our destiny as long as it's aligned with our higher calling.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
I feel like as long as you speak it, then it can happen. You can make it happen for yourself. Allah will make it happen for yourself.
Absolutely. God said, let there be light. He had to say it. He had to speak it in existence. And it manifests. You know what I mean? That's what it is, man. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
Word. So on that note, man, we didn't want to, overextend the conversation. We got a whole lot of information coming. We got a whole lot more growth and development coming because we're actually, going through it ourselves, man. As you can see, when we build, we learning as we go as well, man. And we're gaining a greater perspective and a greater understanding through these conversations, you know what I mean? And also, applying it in our walk and in our way of life. And just sitting back and observing, peeping life, man. That's what we're here for. And we're going to continue with these conversations. We're not going to hold y'all too long today. We appreciate y'all tuning in. Before we go, I do want to say, make sure y'all subscribe, y'all like, y'all comment, y'all show y'all support. And we'll do the same on our end. We're here to help. We're here to give service. We're here to be the support of our community. And we're going to expand just beyond podcasts. We're going to step into the community. We're going to do some live shows, some pop-ups. We're going to expand this conversation into the community. And we're already a part of what's going on in different communities on the East Coast. We're going to expand that, man, nationwide and worldwide. We're here for the growth. We're here for the development. We're here for the upliftment. Anything you want to say to the people, Nariq, before we close this one out?
I don't got too much to say to the people today, but I want to thank you for giving me a little bit better understanding of the journey that I'm on, and where I'm at spiritually right now. I feel like that was super important. I needed it. Today was like, I was in school today. I was learning. So I appreciate you for that.
That's what we're here for, Nariq, man. I'm learning, man. That's one thing I do know is that we're always learning in this life. You know what I mean? When it comes to growing and development and processing information. You know what I mean? It's everything that's born grows. You know what I mean? It's what we're born out of, or what we're born from, that's eternal, that's complete, that's infinite, that's unmoved. You know what I mean? And from that perspective and that stillness, that's the foundation that carries us through this journey. Because we're here for the journey, man. We're here for the journey. Like we said in the previous episode, we're here to learn and to give back and to be of service and to give this small egocentric consciousness back into the universal consciousness, back into the Godhead. So we going through that process, all of us, regardless of what stages we are in life. Every human being, every sentient being in the universe is going through the same process. And it's a beautiful song, man, when we just take the time, man, to meditate on it, pray on it, and listen to it. It's a beautiful vibe, you know what I mean? And it only gets better, even the trials and tribulations. It gets better for us, man. So we signing out on this. Love y'all, man. Much respect. Thank y'all for tuning in. Our prayers and peace and blessings go out to everybody that's going through something in the world, which is all of us. We here, man, to help. We here to be of service. We here to support each other. Let's continue to do that. Peace and blessings.
Ascended Masters Podcast.